You spend a lifetime putting responsibility first, and guitar keeps slipping to someday. But when someday finally arrives, it's easy to wonder, is it too late to begin? I've seen this come up with thousands of older students, and there is a very clear answer. Today I'm going to read you a real story from someone who asked that same exact question. Along the way, I'll point out the 5 lessons that you can use to finally light your fire for guitar once and for all. And to help you get started, I've put together a free 5-day guitar challenge. It starts on Monday and the link is down below. Now here's the story. When someday finally came. How one man proved a lifetime of waiting wasn't the end of his guitar dream. Music raised me when no one else could. Growing up without guidance or direction, I found everything I needed in the stories, feelings, and emotions that flowed through other people's songs. Music became my poetry, my compass, my substitute parent for a lost soul who was far too young to be navigating the world alone. As I grew, my connection deepened beyond just listening. I became obsessed with acoustic guitars, not because anyone I knew played them, but because of that inexplicable pull that people describe when they find their passion. It was magnetic, undeniable, essential. As a child, I did everything I could to get my hands on an acoustic guitar. When I finally managed to get one, the overwhelming joy of holding it was short-lived. It had to be sacrificed for the betterment of my family. That loss cut deeper than I knew how to express. Now, right here is where so many of us first learn to put passion aside. Survival wins and the dream gets shelved, but those early losses have this crazy way of sticking with us. Hobbies weren't a priority during my adolescence. Survival was. I couldn't get my fingers near a guitar again, so instead I focused on building an education, a career, a life where my family and I wouldn't have to live in survival mode like I had growing up. For years, I put everything practical first. Food, shelter, stability. The guitar remained a distant dream, something impractical that would have to wait until I could afford to want things instead of just needing them. But I never stopped wanting it. I can't tell you how many people have told me the same exact thing. I'll get to it once things calm down. But here's the truth. Someday never arrives on its own. You have to claim it. When I was finally successful in my career, I had an opportunity to fulfill that childhood passion. I was going to buy my own acoustic guitar, something that would be mine, something that could never be ripped away from my fingers again. I remember the day I made the trip to the music store. I'd been putting extra money away for months and finally made the commitment. Walking into that store, I was overwhelmed by the selection. People were trying out different guitars, playing their go-to riffs with easy confidence, but I didn't even know how to hold one properly, let alone make it sing with notes and chords. I finally picked out a guitar that looked appealing. That was all I had to go by. I sat down, positioned it over my leg, and borrowed a pick from a worker. Then I strummed the strings. It wasn't music. The pick fell from my inexperienced fingers almost immediately, but the feeling was remarkable. The same feeling I'd had only once before during those precious moments with the guitar from my childhood. With that single clumsy strum, I knew I wanted that feeling to live forever. I bought that guitar and took it home that very day. This moment is huge. Robert did not wait to feel ready. He just took the step, even when it was awkward and intimidating. And here's the lesson. Your next strum doesn't have to sound good. It just simply has to happen. I carried that guitar home like it was my first child being brought back from the hospital. I didn't know exactly what to do, but I wanted to be as careful as possible because I couldn't bear the thought of anything happening to it. At home, I took it out of the case, lifting it carefully by the neck and body as if it were a priceless bottle of wine. I strummed it again, and that feeling hit me once more. I was strumming my own guitar, making it create sound. Not music yet, but sound. My sound. That first strum, though it wouldn't have been pleasant to anyone else's ears, was the sound of freedom to me. The sound of success, the sound of making it. See the shift here? Progress isn't about perfection, it's about permission. To sound bad, to play clumsy, to start anyway. That's where the real freedom begins. For the first time in my life, I owned something purely because I wanted it, not because I needed it to survive. That guitar represented everything I'd worked for, everything I'd sacrificed for, everything I dreamed of during those lean years when dreams felt like luxuries I couldn't afford. 15 years later, this guitar still proudly hangs on my wall. I've had other guitars come and go, but this one will never be parted with. It's been there with me and for me during some of the hardest times of my life. The amazing thing about a guitar is that it doesn't hold judgment. Your emotions can't change how it sounds, but it has the power to change your feelings with a single strum. When the world feels unstable, when old fears creep in, I can reach for those 6 strings and remember, I made it. I'm safe now. Now I sing some of the same music that raised me and molded me into who I am today. This guitar has become more than an instrument. It's proof that I broke the cycle, that I built something better, that some things in life can be permanent if you fight hard enough for them. It represents the difference between survival and living, between needing and wanting, between having things taken away and finally being secure enough to keep what matters. This guitar will never be sacrificed for anything. That's a promise I made to my childhood self, and it's a promise I intend to keep. The music that raised me now flows through my own hands, and that lost child who once had his guitar taken away finally has something that can never be taken again. And that's the transformation. Guitar isn't just an instrument, it's identity, it's therapy. It's proof that you're never too late. Robert's guitar became his anchor, and it can be yours too. If you want to stop waiting for someday, the best way to start is with our free 5-day Stop Dabbling, Start Playing Guitar Challenge. Just 10 minutes a day, and it starts on Monday. Go ahead and click the link below.